Hey, welcome in. I'm Al Korelin. Thanks very much for joining me. We are in Vancouver, British Columbia again, shooting some video with the executives of our client companies. Have a new client. The name of the company is Amarillo Gold. Mickey Fulp, the mercenary geologist, is a good friend of mine. Mick kind of introduced me to Amarillo. Buddy Doyle, the president of the company, is with me right now, and I have to tell you, I agree with Mickey. This is one of the more interesting situations out there. They've got very, very promising assets down in Brazil. They have plenty of money, and they certainly have a great technical team. Buddy, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's start out with the assets. You've got a number of properties in Brazil, 43101 compliant numbers right now are around 1.7 million ounces, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
That's nothing to sneeze at.
No, we don't think so. We've got two projects, one in Goiás State where it has 1.1 million ounces combined, indicated and inferred, and one in Rio Grande do Sul, which has 520,000
Those are big
ounces.
numbers. I mean, for a junior company trading at 99 cents, those are pretty big numbers.
Yeah, we think so, and we think we got to get the story out so people know it.
Exactly. One of the reasons I think that the story hasn't gotten out, so to speak, is you guys are pretty much self-funding. Every nickel that you've raised to provide capital for what you're doing, you guys have done it yourself.
Yeah, we've had a history of non-brokered finances where we just use. We've got a very strong board with good connections in the financial industry, and we basically just use those connections to fund.
Well,
and
sure.
That saves the commissions and
cuts down on the dilution.
Cuts down the dilution.
No warrants, yeah.
Yeah, we usually don't do it. We haven't done any warrants ever, and I'm amazed. I tried that as an experiment, and people seem to like it.
Investors
you just have to ask, and people say, okay, no warrants, but
no problem. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your board.
The board is the executive side is myself and Rick Brown. Myself, very briefly, 23 years in Rio Tinto before leaving and going to the junior side, and Amarillo's the first company I worked with in the junior side, and it's been a lot of fun. Very different to a big company, but a lot of fun. And we're finding stuff, so it has been very enjoyable.
23 years.
23 years with Rio. I led the team that found Diavik Diamond Mine in the Northwest Territories, a multi-billion-dollar diamond mine now.
Pretty impressive.
And took that through to decision to mine. Had about 100 people, $60 million budgets, and also I was in Lahia in New Guinea. I was a project geologist there that drilled out the Menifee ore body. And when I arrived on the island, it wasn't already discovered 5 million ounces, but when I left, it was 30 million ounces, and quite exciting.
Wow.
So I had two good discoveries in Rio, and then, but both times they went, oh, thank you, that's what we pay you for. So.
Why the junior? Yeah, because the reward strikes me as being a little higher for both investors and for people involved with the junior companies.
Yeah, I mean, both of those projects I had junior partners.
Sure.
And got to know them very well. They became friends, and they certainly got very wealthy from these discoveries. And not that I'm greedy, but I thought you only
you don't, buddy. I got to tell you, buddy, you don't strike me as being a greedy person. There's
but
no
you can be only I thought, well, it's rare to find something as a geologist, and
sure.
And I've been involved twice. I thought if it happens a third time and I don't have a bigger stake in it, I'd be silly. And that's,
one would say, yeah. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about the rest of the management team.
Yes, sorry. Rick Brown, great guy, geologist from Australia, over almost 30 years experience, been in Latin America since '95. He was in Lima about 2000 and thought Peru was getting a bit too crowded.
Yeah.
And so on his own bat, went to Brazil, got an MBA in Sao Paulo, picked up Portuguese, and basically founded Amarillo. And I knew Rick through mutual friends, and that's how we got going. And he found our main project, the Mara Rosa project. So he's still down there. He's looking after the company interests, one of our biggest shareholders and an executive director.
I didn't realize that Mickey was one of the founding shareholders of, along with your friend down in Brazil and yourself. He's got some history with you guys, according to a conversation that he and I had.
Him and Rick used to live in Lima together.
And
they knew each other from there.
Yeah, Mickey speaks very highly of you guys. I want to talk a little bit about Brazil. Now, I have spent time in South America. I spent a fair amount of time in Chile. I spent a fair amount of time in Argentina. Not much in Peru. Zero in Brazil.
Come on down.
Yeah, I fully intend to. But let's talk about the government. Are they mining friendly, supportive for foreign companies?
Yeah, Dilma just got back in,
Okay.
and that's been the Socialist Democrat Party equivalent. You know, very, not unlike the NDP or even very centre left.
Are they?
But they've been very pro-business. They've been juggling, trying to look after the poor and also keep business going. I think they've been doing a great job. Look at their growth. They've been in power for 8 years.
One of the highest growth rates economically in the world.
Yeah. And Dilma's definitely Lula's pick.
Yeah.
And no one sees the policies changing that much. And so I think things will continue on as is, which have been great.
Yeah.
I've been going there for 10 years on and off, and 30 million people have entered the middle class in that time.
Wow.
And you can see the prosperity start to take off.
Well, that's good for everybody. It's good for the businesses. It's good for the people, et cetera. Capital, you guys got enough money, or do you have to go out and raise some more money in the near future? Probably not.
Well, we're junior. We have about we raised some money in July. We have about 4.2 million after raising 6 million in July. We're being very aggressive at the moment for drill rigs. The burn rate is 700,000 a month right at the moment. That'll drop down in the new year a bit as we move some of those drill rigs off. But we're junior. We're not making money. We'll have to raise money in the future. To fulfill my 2011 budget, I'll need about $4 million extra dollars.
In addition to what you have right now.
What I have now.
Yeah, I don't. It sounds to me like that's going to be absolutely no problem.
Yeah.
You know, I want to say in closing a couple of things. Number one, I always disclose whether or not I own stock in a company, and I have to say at this point, I don't own any stock in Amarillo, but that I guarantee you that's going to change. According to the regulations, I've got to give 3 days notice before I purchase the stock, and I will certainly do that. Amarillo is a sponsor on our website, so if you want any more information on it, simply click on their banner. Lastly, don't construe this as investment advice, because it isn't. We're simply telling you companies that we are interested in, and Big Al really thinks that Amarillo is one of the more interesting situations that we have right now, and it's going to be a pleasure learning more about Brazil and working with this company. Many thanks.
Thank you.